Speaker.
I've called Heather Roy, the Honourable Heather Roy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he agree with former Treasury Secretary John Whitehead that a retirement age of 65 is, and I quote, pretty hard to justify, and that an increase is, again I quote, inevitable? If not, why not?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, no. The government's policy is clear. Continuation of universal national super to all New Zealanders from age 65. The cost of this policy does rise, but it is fully factored into all projections made by this government.
The Honourable Heather Roy.
Thank you. Supplementary question. Has he seen Gabriel McLouth's speech when Deputy of Treasury, where he stated that New Zealand needs to either increase GST to 19% or raise average income tax by $30 per week to fund the existing retirement age? And in light of his government's refusal to change the age, which option does he favour?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I just can't recall actually whether I've seen that speech, but it would be entirely consistent with Treasury's view. As Mr McLouth will be finding in his new job as Secretary of the Treasury, part of the professional task is to be gloomy and forecast that things are going to be pretty rough in the future, and I'm sure he will stick to that task.
Supplementary.
The Honourable Heather Roy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does he think that John Whitehead, Retirement Commissioner Diana Crossan, Gareth Morgan, Bernard Hickey and others are all wrong in calling for raising of their retirement age, as Labour Prime Minister Julia Gillard is also doing in Australia? And if so, what information does he have that they don't?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the information we have is a firm commitment made by this government not to execute that policy. If those advisers all want to change the policy, then they should run for office.
The Honourable Heather Roy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I've called the Honourable Heather Roy. I want to hear her question.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker. Does he think it more caring to give retirees time to plan for their future by raising the age over a long transition period, or has he too adopted the John Key approach of leaving the problem of funding superannuation for a future government that he isn't part of to deal with at short notice?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, no, the government is not leaving the problem. What we're doing is bringing to the government a much-needed fiscal discipline in the light of changed circumstances and the recklessness of the last Labor government. Because for every dollar that we can put into effective rather than ineffective services, we're improving the likelihood that retirees in the future will have a decent standard of living.
Question number 8, the Honourable Damien O'Connor.